I'm interested in the hobonichi, which uses Tomoe River paper. I was wondering what are the advantages and disadvantages of using Tomoe River paper. I've never used the hobonichi, but I've kind of heard about it. If it's literally the same Tomoe River paper, then I'll just speak purely about the paper. I can't speak about that notebook format. Tomoe River is very thin. It's just about 50 grams as opposed to like Rhodia, which is 80 grams. So it's a very noticeably thinner paper. However, the reason people go so nuts over Tomoe River is it holds up to ink remarkably well, given how thin it is. So if you're using any ink that has a sheen to it, Tomoe River tends to bring that sheen out quite a bit, and it really resists feathering and bleed through a lot. So it performs really remarkably well, especially given how thin it is. So that's kind of the advantage, is if you want a thin paper, you know, it's going to handle your inks really well, and it feels cool, and it's a very kind of soft paper. It's nice to write on, and if you're mailing a letter or something like that, it's just a really unique kind of paper that, you know, it's sort of like if you have Crown Mill or something like that, or you know, Goulet, it feels like nice correspondence paper. It doesn't feel like you used a sheet of copier paper. Disadvantages, it is kind of expensive, and because it's so thin, it's really good. It resists bleed through and feathering really well, but because it's so thin, you can almost always like see ghosting. You can see what you've written on the other side when you flip the page over. So if you're trying to write two-sided, depending on your ink and pen combination, it can compete with whatever you're writing with on the back of it. So oftentimes it's best just to write on one side of it. So you know, it's a correspondence paper really, so that's okay. Well, the hobonichi, I don't know. If it's more in a notebook format, it might be more of an issue. Correspondence paper, it's usually not as much an issue because I think most people tend to write just one-sided when they're writing correspondence, but you know, that's kind of to each his own. So that's kind of the biggest disadvantage, I guess, of it.